All right, we are on. Well, sort of. I don't know what's going on with TradingView, but for some reason, um, it will not open. It was kind of doing this last night when I was trying to open new tabs and it didn't want to. Like it refused. Um, and it's just been spinning and spinning. Um, yeah. Okay, I had to click a button maybe. I don't know. That was weird. That was very weird. If you come over here, as you can see, we've been really buying up since we opened. I mean, we sold down into the close of yesterday, well, technically today, but the last session we were selling, selling, selling. And then we started just buying, buying, buying. So that's lovely. I would love to see this actually work. I don't know. I don't know if it's my computer's fault. It probably is, but it's just everything is slow. I mean, this is my connection is good. So my connection on the stream is good. So I don't know if it's just this that's having a problem. But yeah, I mean, I can't really trade if my primary thing I use to trade, it will not open. So you can see well, maybe you can see the numbers are changing, sort of. It's lagging, it's behind. I don't know. It's not moving anymore. But yeah, it's just interesting. Yeah, okay, just the number just changed just now. It's lagging, but I don't know. For some reason, trading view is not having a good time here. I don't know if I'll need to like um delete it and start over. Maybe maybe I don't know. I mean, I use TradingView to chart, so I kind of need it. Um, but yeah, I was doing this. Oops, I was doing this earlier. What happened? Oh, it's working. Okay, so yeah, this is I mean, I expected to see something like this. It's honestly perfect, you know, you see these moments where it sold down. We have those same moments here, and then a continuation. Two nice ones. But yeah. So I mean, it's not quite 7:30, so we have about 6 minutes until it's 7:30. Oh, but I'm just gonna well, there's a lot of things to cover. There's too many things to cover. Um, so let's just start with the basics. So, um, yeah, sure. So as we know, the government has been in a shutdown, and it's been like that for has it been over a month now? It's been quite some time. And um and yeah, it's just it's been going on forever, and thankfully I was able to work there throughout this whole shutdown time. Well, today we got a let me make sure we're still running the stream. Today I got word, well, I got a message, the whole team got a message where the program manager's like, imminent meeting, have nobody log off. And I'm like, I already knew what it was. Why? Because I've been here before when my last job um um had a stop work order. It was the same process. And then, so we're all popping in, and then the owner of the contracting company pops in, and I already know what's coming, right? And so, yep, we got a stop work order end of today. I stopped early. I was like, well, I'm out. um, and so until further notice, until the shutdown is over, we can't do. Sasha, what are you eating? There's nothing that's food. I don't know what he thinks he's eating. Oh, goodness. I have to go make sure it's not something bad. Must be paper. 2 seconds. Okay, it was plastic. I think this is the broken piece of a like a scotch tape roll that he broke when he was like baby, and somehow I missed one of the pieces. I don't know, but that's what it was. It was plastic. He's chewing on it like it was some gum or some chewing tobacco. Anyways, I had to pry it out of his mouth. Um, so yeah, we got a stop work order. You want to know what the blessing is in all of this? So yesterday I was sitting on the computer, and well, not on the computer, I was on my phone, and I was thinking I need to buy a um I need to buy a, what's it called, a new windshield, because mine has a crack in it and I don't want to have any issues when we go to Idaho. So I was about to pay for a new windshield. It's like $1,300, which is basically rent. So I was very hesitant to buy it, but I was like, now that I have a roommate and I'm working and everything's going decent, I could afford that. And so I was about to pay for it. Well, then I don't know. I just felt this thing saying, don't buy it. Just wait, because you never know. You never know what could happen, right? And you might need that money. Don't buy it. So, you know what? I didn't buy it. And then today we got the stop work order. So I I I, I want to believe it's the Holy Spirit that spoke to me. It was one of those feelings, kind of like that feeling um when I didn't take the job that one job that paid way more money to do basically nothing. When I didn't take that job, it was kind of like, that feeling, like it was obvious, like it wasn't obvious what the consequence would be, but it was like I knew I shouldn't buy it, and I didn't. And if I had, I would be screwed, like it would be bad. So people keep saying that we're at the tail end of the shutdown. And like I was saying earlier yesterday, that we have zero control over anything, really. It's not in my hands. It's in no, like, it's in God's hands. And yes, the politicians that are being stupid, but God can work a miracle there. But yeah, it's like, when politicians are making all the these arguing, going back and forth, the people it's affecting, it's regular everyday people. um yeah, it's everyday, it's your everyday average person that has bills to pay, because the people in Congress that are fighting back and forth and refusing to come to an agreement, they're still getting paid. And how is that right? How is that right? I kind of think of it like war. It's like in a lot of cases, not in all cases of war, but in a lot of cases of war, You have people, a politician here couldn't agree, another politician couldn't agree, so they sent their troops out to die. And it's like, why can't you guys just solve your problems and talk and come to an agreement like normal people? Why are these the people that are in charge of the country and ruling the world? It doesn't make sense. Like these are the people that are in charge. But you know, God puts people in power and he can remove people from power just as easily. So we have nothing to fear. Okay, so some real talk before we get into the word. I don't know. So I have this roommate and I'm gonna talk quietly. I think she's not home, but I'm not sure. But anyways, um, I don't know. She stays in her room like pretty much the whole day. And I left the house to take Zazio out for a walk. And when I got back, her car was gone. So I was like, oh, she must have left and left the house finally. She's not dead. Good, 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 right? I was like, I wonder if I should text her. Maybe she died. I don't know. Because I haven't seen her in like 2, 3 days. Anyways, um, so yeah, I walk into the house and there's just this overwhelming smell of just garbage, like mold, mildew, rotting, like this just nasty garbage smell in the house. And I'm just like, what? So I'm running around. I open the balcony door. I'm like checking everything. The garbage doesn't smell. The garbage actually smelled pleasant compared to that smell in the house. And I took out the garbage. I cleaned everything. I um I went the washer. So the washing machine is open, but the door to the laundry room was closed, and it kind of smelled like mildew in there. But the door was still closed. I never opened it, so if the smell wasn't coming from there, and it was not a mildewy smell like it was, but it was mostly just like a garbage smell. And so yeah, I don't know. It just was just this heavy trash smell. And I'm like, dude, like the only difference that because I've been in and out of the house all day, and the only thing that changed was she opened her door and went out of her room. And in doing that somehow the whole house just smells, well, the common area just kind of smells like garbage. And so I like was trying to follow the smell with my nose and it led me to her door, and I'm not gonna open her door obviously, but the smell is coming from there. Zazio kept going to the door like, what's in there? So there's gotta be something in there. But I just went into heavy cleaning mode. I cleaned up the whole kitchen. I sprayed a bunch of disinfectant everywhere, sprayed some fabric. I'm gonna get like an Airwick thing, like one of the pot things you plug in. I mean, I have the plug in. I just don't have the smell of good stuff. But I would rather get that and have it just smell decent than the alternative. I started some laundry, and since I'm not working, I have all day tomorrow to clean the house. So I will be cleaning my room, just doing a deep clean of everything. Um, there's a potentially good opportunity for a sell, but we're not doing that because it's not part of the strategy. Anyways, goodness. But yeah, so um wow. So back to my whatever I was saying. So that's what I was dealing with today. Well, just now was obsessively cleaning and opening doors, closing doors, starting laundry. But yeah, so I'm noticing on a side note, I'm noticing that my computer, when I'm looking at the stream, it's running 41% of the CPU, now 39%. And typically when I'm streaming, it's running like 70 some percent. So maybe when I did a hard shutdown of the computer, it helped things. I don't know. Um, it also might help that I don't have music playing in the background. Um, so yeah, so that's basically what's been going on with me. The job thing, it wasn't expected, but in that moment where I just like, I don't know that I would say I felt the Holy Spirit telling me not to buy the windshield. I wouldn't go as far to say that, only because I wouldn't say that at the time, but I definitely felt like I shouldn't buy it. And it was for a good reason. So, um yeah, so right now the plan is, I have at least, oh, yeah, so I have, the weekend. I will be, since I'll have more time, I will still stream in the evenings, have my evening session, but I'll also probably do like a day stream where I'll come on at certain times of the day. I'm not gonna start tomorrow. Tomorrow is cleaning day and just like a recalibration day. And also I need to come up with some sort of a plan. I cannot just blindly start choose some times, I need to pray about that. But so I will be still still streaming in the evenings. I will probably most likely be streaming during the day. Um yeah, I'll definitely be streaming during the day, and goodness. Yeah, I'll be streaming um during the day um so that I can be trading during the day, but I have to come up with a plan for that. I can't just randomly start. So that's what I'm going to be working on this weekend, is coming up with a plan to stream during the day and a time that works with the schedule. Also, I'll probably start maybe doing a little bit of like DoorDash or some stuff on the side, um just to make a little bit of extra income, maybe some grocery money or something like that. I've also applied to some little jobs, nothing major, because unlike my last contract I was on, this contractor has a good working relationship with the contracting office, and so she asked the contracting office, and they were like, the contract's fine, it's just because of the shutdown lasting this long, we need to conserve some funds. And so that's why. So it's not like before where the owners in the company, they had no clue, they didn't ask any questions, they were just kind of aloof to everything. And yeah, that was not fun. Just, they were in the dark, we were in the dark, and they had no desire to not be in the dark. They didn't really care, they were just like, oh well. So yeah, but this company, they care about their employees, and so, they're fronting us all our our leave for the rest of the year so that we can use that as so that we can use that as our pay, our to pad our paychecks. So I mean, that's nice of them to do. um yeah, other company, they couldn't be bothered. But yeah, so it's it's good, it's good. So, just doing little things in the meantime to maybe make some grocery money, and then also just cover a couple of bills here and there, even if it's just, an extra few $100, goes a long way, for some expenses. But yeah, um other than that, let's see. Mm, Trying to think. Yeah, so that's really all of my life updates. So let's get into the word of the day. I already read it because, I needed a good word, and here is that word. So it says, and this seemed very fitting. And yeah, but here's what it says. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." And that couldn't be more true right now. Um, God has good plans. Okay, first of all, looks like there's about to be a trade right here. Okay, there's one. We're dropping. I'm gonna hit buy on that. Just one. Oh, wow, it put me way up there. Okay, but yeah, I hit buy because it's the strategy. So let's go 40. Okay, now we just need to wait for it to hit. Where did I enter? Okay, so we have to wait for it to hit 20. Yep, that's about right. Yeah, negative RR. The only good thing about a negative RR is that you have more of a chance of hitting that because you have, because it has less, a wider stop, um, and a smaller TP. So you have more of a chance of actually getting to your, um, where is price? Okay, so it just hit it, but it didn't take me out, which means I got in too late. Okay, there you go. Okay, that was a good one. That was a quick one. Maybe I didn't. Oh, okay. So when I entered, I thought I was entering at 5.6, but instead I entered at 6.1. So that was the thing that happened right there. Okay. So so it was only, so I was off by just a little bit, but it still pushed us there, so that's good. Um okay, cool. Yep. Still five. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at the amounts. It's so tempting to look at the amounts that you have to go in order to make it, but I cannot focus on this number because that just it stresses me out. Okay, back to the verse. Okay. Um, yeah, so it says, "For I know the plans I have for you." This is Jeremiah 29:11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for, I think it should say good, not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." I think it's just the version I'm reading. Um, oh, nice. Um, but yeah, and I read that right after I found out I was being furloughed, and I think the reason why it spoke to me was because it was like, this is one of those times. This is one of those times where you're just like, it's it's you start to question. You start to question, what's your game here? What's the plan? Because the plans for good and not for evil, for not to harm, and yet we're out here struggling. We got, oh look, we got another one. Nice. We're out here struggling. We have bills to pay and people that never paid us back, so we have debt from that. And then we have, um, you know, repairs to make and trips that were planned and all of this stuff. And then you want to throw furlough that job, just throw that on top. So and you start to wonder, what's the play here? What's the play? Um, but honestly, these are the times where your faith is really, really tested. Because I remember when I didn't have a job, was I wasn't trading. I could have been, I should have been, but I wasn't trading. I was just, what was I doing that whole time? I don't know. I was chilling. I was going to the beach. I was just relaxing, but I was not trading at all, because I couldn't. I couldn't afford it. But to be able to be here and to take trades, um, and show up regardless of what's happening, regardless of what's going on the outside, staying faithful to this, and so to God and to this cause, right? Because nothing has changed. My purpose hasn't changed, my desire hasn't changed, nothing's changed. Sure, I may not have a stable income coming in right now, but it's gonna come back. The government can't be shut down forever, you know because I'm pretty sure if they're shut down for too much longer, the people will rise up and be very angry because, yeah. So yeah, it's not, yeesh. It can't go on forever. And that's something you gotta keep in mind. Everything is temporary. Everything, all of our struggles, etc., it's all just temporary. So, yeah, I don't know. I just would rather, I'd rather use this time to focus, continue doing what I'm doing. I'll have I'll have less time I have to be dealing with work, bull stuff, bull crap. Because here's the thing. Today I was getting so mad because because my team lead, I I needed page numbers. Same deal as last week. I needed page numbers and she was not working with me. Like she would say, "Oh, I'm going to do this." And then 2 hours later it wasn't done. "Oh, I'm still working on it. Oh, I'm going to call you." 2 hours later, she hasn't called. It's getting close to the end of my shift and I'm just like, here we go again. So, yeah, I was getting low key kind of mad, but when they said, "Oh, you are being furloughed," I actually did a little miniature happy dance, and then the second the meeting was over, I literally just was like, I logged out of everything. It was a few minutes before I was supposed to be done. I logged out of everything, and I was just like, bye. Like I was like, bye. Um, yeah. So they just send me a thing. So basically, I'll use some of my sick leave. Uh, hmm? Yeah, I'll use some of my sick leave to start off, and hopefully because I have this email they sent me says I have seven. I have 76.6 whatever hours of leave of leave. So so that's not quite 2 weeks pay, but it's a little something. And then I'll just get us. I was like, I could go back to working at McDonald's, but no, we're not doing that. Anyways, but I'm like, that was another time for another me. It's back when I was younger. Right now, I'm like, I don't know, 27, pushing 28. Like, I'm not going back to McDonald's. Like, that's good for like when you're younger and you're trying to put yourself through college and no hate, no shade. I did it and some of my funnest times were working at McDonald's, but I save those positions for people who need them and will benefit from the experience. For me, I have other things to I need to not be distracted. When I didn't have a job, I was so focused on finding another job. I was not trading, that's for sure. Yeah, I was not trading at all. Um, I wanted to get a pull-up bar because I need to work on my pull-ups. Anyways, that was a side note that did not need to be said. Okay, so we're just gonna be chilling here. I wish I had turned on some music, but I don't really want to listen to music right now. Um, but yeah, God's got a plan, and I don't know what it is. Um, no clue, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, and this is a great time to lean into him and to trust him because a lot of people mean well when they say like, oh, I'm there for you, and oh, anything you need. But at the end of the day, everybody has their own stuff that they're going through. They have their own expenses and their own things, and they can't just, they can't just hand you a check and be like, here's 10 grand. It would be nice, but that's just not reality. And so, um, Zazia, what happened here, buddy? Um, I got him a bone and he hasn't eaten it, and now I'm seeing there's a piece left, so he must have eaten some of it. Now I need to go find out where is the rest of this? Because I don't know if you can hear him, but he's wandering around. He'll carry it around and just cry. But looks like he ate a good chunk of it, like most of it, and that's probably not good if he did eat all of it. But I didn't see him eating anything. I'm gonna have to go see what's up with that. Yeah, but anyways, no. When they said that we were done, we had a stop work order. I logged off as fast as I could. I was gone. Yeah. I will be right back. Okay, I could not find the rest of the bones. Oh, it's not even a, I mean, it's sort of a bone, but it's not. It's more like a chewy, but it's more of a treat. I don't know, like a sausage link. I don't know what it was, but he ate most of it, and he's a small dog, and I don't think he should have eaten all of that. So, yeah, he is. I took it away for the rest of the night. I'm gonna clean up in here for a bit because I closed the door so that the smell wouldn't linger um into my room. But then I went outside and I left like the balcony open. So now outside smells good, but I come back into my room and then my room just smells off now. So I don't know, but I'm just gonna wash everything. Crap, did I use up all my laundry soap? Dang it. If I did, I need to go get some more. I actually do kind of want to run some errands, but I will wait for the stream to be over. Yeah, guys, I've been just walking around trying to clean because I don't know. Now I'm not OCD, but I'm being OCD about it because like I said, the only variable, like I've been in and out of my room all day and I've never come into my room and been like, ew, it's reeks in here. um, no, I've been in and out of my room all day, in and out of the house all day. Nothing. No complaints, no problems. And then I come in after a walk and it reeks and it just reeks. And the only variable that's changed is, you know, her door was opened. So yeah, that tells me all I need to know. Um, so do, 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 do. What was I gonna do? Yeah, so I was gonna wait till tomorrow, but it's bothering me too much. So I'm just cleaning. Nothing's happening. As we can see, we had a huge push up, um, over yonder here. So as you can see, you get a push, there's some sort of consolidation or where we flatten out and we come back into that major push zone. So we had a push, we're going sideways. We had a push and we went down and then we pushed again and now we're sideways. So sideways is never great, but it just means there's no trading happening right now. Um, and also for the rest of the night because honestly, I mean, I took my one trade, so yeah. Also, I don't think there's going to be another opportunity. I mean, there might be. You never know. But yeah, I'm going to go back to cleaning obsessively. And who knows, I might actually take myself to the store because, yeah, I want an Airwick. I want I want cleaning products. I need something. All right, I'm just popping in. So I'm cleaning. I did see that first red brick form off that big red candle that we have. And I said to myself, I was like, I'm not gonna enter, but if I was gonna enter, I would enter there because that looks like, we're gonna get another push. And we did, which is nice to see. It's nice to be right, even if I'm not in. But yeah, I'm still cleaning because here's the thing. When you live in your own house, you tend to become nose blind to certain smells, kind of like people with cats. Reason why I'll never have an indoor cat. I'm saying that now, but I might regret that. But the reason why I don't have an indoor cat is because of the ammonia smell. I don't care. People think that their cats are, oh, their cat is so clean and this and that. But the reality is, no, you can't smell it. Every person who's ever owned a cat whose house I've gone into, it always smells. Sometimes it's horrible, sometimes it's not so bad, but it always smells. And the people, they can't smell it because they become nose blind to it. They literally become nose blind to it, and they're just like, your brain stops flagging it as a smell to pay attention to because it's just become part of your house now. And so, when I'm in my room a lot and I'm, running around doing a lot of things, I may not be very in tune to how my room actually smells or how my house actually smells. And so, just coming in earlier this evening and seeing and smelling that huge change and that huge difference has just made me slightly paranoid that, oh, maybe I'm nose blind to my own sense, right? Because I'm like, one, how can you like live in that? You'd have to know. But I mean, if you were just there, then you wouldn't really know because that's all you're smelling is your own stuff, and your brain just stops flagging it as, oh, maybe this is a problem. um so so yeah, I what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm cleaning the bathroom still. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say, I mean, yes, it sounds like I'm saying it in hindsight, but I did walk over here. I don't think I pressed the unmute button, but I did walk over here and I was like, oh, if I was gonna enter, I would enter all short here because that's a good place to go short, especially when we have this decline in interest in buying. See how we bought up, but we didn't really increase, we've decreased. Very prime suspect for a sell, and it was beautiful. But I mean, obviously I'm not trading right now. I'm just cleaning, but I did call that, and maybe that is another setup, like another, maybe an A setup that we can, try to focus in on when we buy higher, but then we don't increase any buying pressure here. So here we were at, I don't like having to turn all this stuff on. And this is something that I'll be able to look at. But anyways, so let's say right here we were at 2.0. Here we were at 1.4, so that was equal. And then here we bought up past it, but now we're at 1.1. So there's clearly divergence here, so you could sell. I mean, sounds simple. Um, yeah, sounds simple. I feel like divergence works better when it's, and then, okay, so like here, for example, we have a buy at a 4 point, at 4. Okay, so this one, here's our peak before we sold. Sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze for a second. Um, but yeah, so here's your first peak before the sell was at zero point 0.4. The next peak before the sell was 1.1, so we don't have divergence. And then we got to sell here. So here was our peak. We had a 1.5, so there's no divergence. And then here we have a 0.9. So that's divergence right there. There's still a chance for us to buy back up to equal or higher to create another point of divergence if we're going to sell. But um, yeah, I mean, that's something that we could look into is selling off of divergence um, after so many XYZ, whatever. So yeah, it's just something to consider. Something to consider. But it would only work if we're above. And the same for like selling. So like here, before we bought back up. So here we'd have 2.2. Then we'd have to create a lower before the pullback, which would be a 1.2. And then we'd have to create an equal. That's green. So I don't know what you'd say to that. And then this was even a lower right here before the pullback, which was a 0.3. Um, and then that would be a buy. And then we'd have to create an equal or lower 0.6. And then we created another one, 1.3. So the difference between this is 1.3, a 0.3, and a 1.2. So there's really no divergence here. Um, I feel like divergence, for some reason, it works better when it's selling. No, yeah, when it's overbought and we're selling back down. I feel like it just works better sometimes. Um, Anyways, we have 6 more minutes. I will be back. Okay, I'm back and I don't see any trades happening because this would have to buy up, this would have to turn green, and I just don't see that happening in the next 1 minute and 5 seconds. So there are no more trades. Let me just open Google. 1 second. I don't want to open that. Crap. Okay, let's go here. Oh, that's not even right. Okay. Ah, this is what happens when you have multiple email addresses and you don't know which one you're using. Is it this one? Nope, I literally was just there. Okay, this one maybe? We were just there. We were just there. Okay, let me check. Oh, 1 second. I know there's. Alright, so there's my. I think this is the right one. Yeah, it's from yesterday. Okay, that's the right account. Alright, so let me close the rest of these. Guys, I got too many open. Alright, so let's go back here and do this. Yeah, so yeah, no more trades for the rest of the night. So there was only one opportunity. Like I said, I don't know why it's been so sparse lately. Um, that's okay. Let's go here. So the 6th, I did wish my brother a happy birthday today. One, one, yeah. Let's go here. Just pull that over. Yeah, we're not getting a whole lot of, I mean, yeah, we're just not getting a whole lot this week. So at the end of the week, we're up literally 200, which is, I'm gonna actually just gonna call that the because this is the end of the week at this point because we're gonna start all over again on Sunday. What day is that even? The 9th. Okay. 2025. I'm starting to smell bleach in my lungs. Yeah, that was not about to give us another, but I mean, it was like a sell if you were selling. Like I said, we may need to have some other parameters, but we're gonna evaluate that. We're still gonna be testing the core of the strategy, right? The core, but we may add some other, not add things, but basically what I want is I don't want a bunch of mediocre trades, right? And I mean, technically there were three in a row that were good, right? This one, two, three. Technically, that's three perfect ones in a row. So it's not like we're getting a bunch of really bad trades, but if I could just narrow it down to like one really good one of the day, that'd be nice too. Because right now we're looking at a 77% win rate, which isn't bad. But let's just end the week out. So this week ended with, what did it end with? So basically it ended with 53800. So we're only up 200 on the week, which is wild. I mean, seriously, what the heck? So yeah, we're literally up 200 on the week. And so we just plotted that point. Barely a change at all. That is literally what we have. And I don't know, the losses are catching up to the wins. They are, and we're sitting flat, or we're like we haven't lost any week, but we're not making at the rate we were. And sometimes we're just recovering. Some days are just a recovery day. So I don't know why we went from numbers like 13 and 9 down to 1 and 0. So yeah, that's it's concerning as far as like long termness or whatever. But over the weekend we will be looking for other avenues of taking these kinds of trades with some sort of a plan that is purposeful, right? Because I mean, look at this, guys. I don't even know. If you look at this, we have, let's start from when we first crossed over. So we have our first one. One second. Okay, so we have our first one here at 1.5, then 1.4. Okay, then we came all the way up here, 1.3. So if you had sold here, you would have lost. Then we have 1.1 and 0.7. So all of these were dwindling down. So all of these were opportunities to sell. And then we just skyrocketed till we hit this point. Highest point was 1.1, then 1.0, then 0.7. And then we sold and we sold. And then we bought up higher like this, which is nice. And now we're at negative 0.1. And then we didn't really buy up higher after that. And then we just sold and sold and sold and sold and sold. I think there's patterns. I just need to recognize them. Like, especially when we see things like where we've bought up consistently and then we come up to like the same or a higher peak. Like the difference between this one, 1.0, this one, 1.2, and then this one, 0.4, and then drop. So there's clearly divergence. I like trading divergence, but divergence is something you really have to watch for. It's not something you get an alert to enter for. It's something that you need to be paying attention to. Because if you come all the way back here, right, we had 1.2, a 0.8. So yeah, I mean, we could be looking for reversals based off of divergence. That's a possibility. But yeah, I mean, currently we're just trying to trade with the trend, right? We're identifying the trend, we're waiting for a pullback, we're trying to enter, or we're trying to get in at the beginning of a trend. Like this would have been an entry right here, and then it would have just, it would have gone, but that would have been an entry. But yeah, so that's what, oh look, so yeah, that's what we're trying to do. But we'll be working more on it this weekend as far as a strategy and a game plan for the coming up week, now that I won't have work and I'll have plenty of time to trade. But like I said, if I do day streaming, I will not, and I repeat not, I will not be trading at a rate of um all day. Like it will not be an all day thing. It'll be like, okay, an hour here or an hour there. It's not going to be an all day affair. It's just not. It can't be. Because I don't want to be sitting in front of the screen all day. So that's going to also be part of it, is coming up with a good time slots. There'll be multiple slots. There'll still be this evening slot, and then there'll also probably be like a morning and an afternoon one as well. So there'll be a lot of opportunities to pop in, but we don't, the more you pop in, the more exposure, the more risk. So we're still trying to we're staying true to the strategy, staying true to the strategy. And that is all, folks. I will let the stream catch up to the actual recording real time, because otherwise it'll just cut me off mid sentence. Wow, that's a big green candle.